Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. How's it going, guys? It's been a while. If you didn't know, I was out this week with the family. We took a little trip to Disney for the week, Disney World, that is, and we had a really good time. We went there. We planned this trip in January before we got Anna's service dog Gemelli, and that was the idea was that we would get her some practice in big crowds and groups. Hey guys, um, but real quick, if this seems too dark for you, just crank up your brightness all the way up on your viewing device. Um, if the image seems too small for you, then just turn your cell phone, if you're using one or whatever you're watching, horizontal so the image fills the screen. And then last, yes, I'm drawing in blue pencil. I'll get into the regular pencils very shortly here. Just bear with me. Again, yeah, so we were at um, Disney this whole past week, or from Monday through yesterday, and uh, the idea was to get our daughter's Anna's service dog Gemelli used to um, being out in public, and what better way to do that in a big crowded environment like Disney, where all sorts of sights and sounds and smells are happening all at once, and there's tons of people distracting her. So it was been planned since January before we had Gemelli, before we even knew who Gemelli was. Um, so we went to all the parks. So each day we went to a different park. Um, and the first day we went to Epcot. So we what we use is like one of those Disney trip crowd um, prediction websites. I guess they crunch the numbers for average amount of people at certain every day of the year. And I don't know how accurate it is, but there are some science behind it. I don't know how they do it, but at any rate, they we plotted out which days to go with that, and so on the first day, Epcot seemed like the most logical choice, um, and thing was um, we were trying out her her little her new shoes and everything. So that was kind of cool because it was warm out. It was actually pretty nice this week. We were able to go there, and most of the days that we're there it was really great weather. Um, yes, thank you guys for doing the stuff that helps this page. I We all appreciate that. Thank you so much for getting the word out so that um, everybody knows that I'm doing stuff. And I apologize again. I wasn't here this past week, and that was because we were at Disney. But today I'm going to talk about that, and we're going to be talking about that first day. Um, we had already brought her to Epcot before. We just took a day trip a little while ago. And that was her very first time, so we felt like we kind of knew what to expect, and that we are thinking she probably knew kind of what to expect or was familiar with what was going on. And there was a point where we were walking in a crowd, and all of a sudden, I don't know what the deal was. I just heard this like sound, and Jamila just smashed into me, and I'm like, "What? What the bleep?" I said heck, but I said the bad version of that. What the heck just happened? Because I don't know what did just happen. She like slammed into me, and I turn around and I see this. I think it was a couple walking off, and the lady had an umbrella. I don't know what for, because it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold, it wasn't raining, but evidently she decided it was a good idea to just open it up right as she was in Gemelli's face, right as that umbrella was in her face, and just it popped open right when Gemelli was passing by, and it really it just gave her the she if she could it was a cartoon she would have jumped out of her skin. um, I felt really bad for her. But and I just wondered, like, did that person? What were they doing? Why were they opening up? There's no reason to open up unless they did it on purpose to be mean. Um, I would hope not. I would like to believe that's not what happened, but it was very traumatizing for her. And she's trained to really be cool with a lot of stuff, and that's why she's was selected as a service dog because they are conditioned from the time they are very young, like to just kind of roll with whatever comes at them. They desensitize them to all sorts of things, but apparently not an umbrella popping open in her face. So yeah, that it was shocking and a little upsetting. Um, I was really felt bad for her. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, excellent, Michael. Thank you. Thank you. So, if you didn't know, we have new stuff up on our merch site, and you can get to that at amcprincessanna.com. And I think, I forgot if she's done it yet, but I think, oh no, we have not done. So, there's new stuff on there. So, you can take a look at all the new stuff that we have on. But we're talking to the company that has all our merch about opening back up the 10K subscriber shirts and tumblers. We don't know if that they can do that because it is an archived product that we had. But if they can, we will definitely open it back up at least for a limited time to our subscribers on any of the pages. Let's see what's everybody gonna say. Okay, so yeah, I think Nana says it was not an accident. So those people were being just messed up. I mean, what kind of a person would do that? Like on purpose? Like what kind of a monster would do that to a dog? Just like try to mess with a service dog. And you know what happens if that dog at that point was really performing a task that the person that they were working for, you know, was right in the middle of whatever that was. I mean, the person could have gotten really hurt too. So it's not just a funny thing. It's potentially it can be very dangerous. And so yeah, it was very upsetting. Yeah, Lynn says ignorance. Yeah, it's ignorance and just I don't know. Somebody like that, I just feel like I don't think you have a soul. You might look like a human, but you're not a human. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, we just don't know what the reason why it was. So yeah, that was definitely. So yeah, it took us a little while to like Nana had to really like talk with Gemelli and just kind of get her to settle down and just what you're supposed to do with situations like that is you want to reassure the the service dog when something like that happens, so they don't like mark it as like something where they get some kind of a PTSD or a phobia against a certain object or person or anything really. You just got to really be aware of what it is and kind of offset it. Yeah, so it took a little bit of time, but Nana was able to calm Gemelli down, so that was good. Um, but yeah, it's interesting because you don't know how dogs are going to react, even if they are trained. Um, but yeah, so that was probably the most dramatic thing that happened on the trip there. Um, but other than that, we had a really good time. I'll talk about some other stuff, next week. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to get back on this week, even though I wasn't able to do the rest of the stuff for the rest of the week. But one time is better than no times, right? And any chance to get to hang out with you guys is always always fun and rewarding. And let's see, what do we say? Apparently I'm. Let's see, what am I hearing? All right. Tina says people have no common sense. Gemelli, even as a dog, has way more common sense than those people. That is true, which is kind of sad. You'd expect, you know what the thing that I've learned? Common sense. It's not a true. It's kind of a misleading thing because when you say common sense, that means that people are all drawing from the same pool of sense, right? And clearly, that is not the case. Um, People do things, and not even just like this, but just they do things, and you just kind of scratch your head, and you're like, what, what were they thinking? What possessed them to do that? I would never do that, and most people I know would never do that. So why would they do that? Just doesn't make any sense. But it's because there's really no such thing as common sense. Unfortunately, I wish it was a giant pool that we could all draw from collectively, and all of us could benefit from the wisdom and knowledge of everyone else. That would be great, but not the case. All right, let's get into some pencils here. No, else could it be generational? Since could be. Who knows? It's a mystery. I mean, I think there's certain things that younger people are more open to and have a better sense than I think people that are older. Because, as you get older, I feel like we all get kind of set in our ways. Whereas when you're younger, you might be more open to new ideas. But I don't know. I didn't see how if they were old or young. That was the thing. It would just happen so fast. I just remember when I turned around, I saw them walking off, and I could tell it was like women's clothing, I think. And I saw a big beige umbrella, and they headed off. So they either knew they did it and ran off, or they had no idea what they had just done and were just continuing on their way. Yeah, she does. The thing about Gemelli is she's really she needs to get used to things. So if she's exposed to something, she will definitely stop and see what it is because she's very curious, but she needs to be kind of exposed to it and then reassured about it, and then she's okay with it. So it's a little bit, it's a process, but all that just happened so fast that we couldn't prepare her for that because we were unprepared for it. But I guess that's the thing. Stuff like that happens, gonna happen. I just hope something like that doesn't happen as scary and crazy as it was. Yeah, again, if you've showed up late, I can't keep repeating the story, so I apologize, but you'll have to replay what's going on. It's just how it goes. I'll just be talking about the same thing over and over and over again in the same live. It's not fair for the people who have been here, and I don't like to repeat myself a whole bunch. I'll repeat myself a couple of times, but unfortunately, I would ask you to please replay it, and it will help. It helps me if you watch the replay anyway. So I thank you for watching the replay in advance. Yes, Jessica. Dogs do have very sensitive ears, and that happened like right in her face, literally in her face. Hey, Laura. Hey, Karen. Perhaps, Jordan. Perhaps that might be the case. If they did it on purpose, uh, even if they had a bad experience, then that meant that they went on the offensive first, so that kind of puts them in the wrong. But we will never know. We can only speculate. Oh, thank you, Angie. I try. I try. Karen, it's 1:53 in the UK. Wow. So I just have an observation, and I'm not trying to be uh, cause problems with people in the UK because I love you guys. There was a family when we went to Epcot that was clearly from the UK. And if you know about Epcot, you know that every there's a part of Epcot which has little kind of representations of different parts of the world. So they have a China section, they've got a Mexico section, they have a Norway section, Germany, so on and so forth. But they have an England or UK, I think it's an England section. Uh, and each of the areas they have food that is representative of that part of the world. So naturally, if it's England, the restaurant there is a fish and chips place. Now, I've never been to the UK, and I'm sure that the way you guys do fish and chips is probably the best in the world because you guys invented that, right? Um, I don't know if the place there is holds up, or if you guys were to go and eat at this fish and chips restaurant at Epcot, if you would just kind of chuckle to yourself and say, Not quite." But we're here in America, so we have no way of knowing if we've never been there, and we never grew up with it, so we have nothing to compare it to, unless, of course, your family's from there and you guys know how to make it. Anyway, so we sat down at the one of the things we like to do when we go to Epcot is we like to watch the fireworks show. And we found that one of the best places to do that is get your dinner at the fish and chips place, and you just sort of hang out till the fireworks happen. You've got a front row seat to the fireworks if you're sitting in the right spot. So we were sitting there, and there was this family from the UK there eating the fish and chips, and they left before the fireworks, so they definitely weren't doing what we like to do. They just were there for dinner, and I'm just wondering what they thought of the fish and chips, and why would you go if you're from a country that is a creator of some type of dish? Why would you go to another country and eat said dish? Are you just trying to test to see, is it silly, or is it good, or is it bad, or is it because you feel like you've come to your country, you've come to the place, a representative of your country, and it's something that's familiar to you, so you're just going to play it safe? So that's my question, because when I go to a different country, I want to try out the foods from that country, because I can get the cuisines from the United States when I'm in the United States, and I know what's good and what's bad because I've grown up here and born here, right? So, any of you from the UK who've been to Epcot, have you had the fish and chips there? Is it ridiculously bad? Does it hold up? Is it good? I want to know. And also, why would you go eat fish and chips in another country when you guys have the best in the world? That's my question. Again, not trying to be mean. It's just I'm generally curious. I remember when I was in Australia, there was a place called the California Burrito Shop, and one of my friends there was like, "Oh, we should go to the California Burrito Shop." I'm like, why would I go to get burritos in Australia when I'm from California? And in my opinion, we make the best burritos. It would be like me taking somebody from Australia and saying, "Let's go to Outback Steakhouse." If you went to Outback Steakhouse, I'm sure you'd say that is nothing like the steak that we make in Australia. But that's just a thought that went through my head. Comment on it. What is everybody's take on that? Would you go to a country, if you're from the United States, would you just go to McDonald's, or would you go to Denny's or wherever when you could sample the food from that country? Or would you try something new? Right. No, you might miss home, but that would be the only thing that I would think someone would do. Or they're just very picky eaters and aren't very adventurous, and that seems the most palatable to them. That would be that would be my other thing, because there's plenty of folks here in the United States they only eat meat and potatoes and hamburgers and hot dogs, right? And they go to another country, they want to see the sights. They don't necessarily want to sample the cuisine. So that could be the case as well. I don't know. What do I know? Yeah, see, Sharon, that's the exact thought that I was thinking. Manya wants to know if they have a Dutch section. I don't think they do. They have a German section, and that's probably about the closest you can get. And then they have a Norway section. So, just saw someone from Norway just a second ago. Oh, Anne from Norway. Yes, in Epcot they do have a section from Norway, and I forgot what they had there. They do have a restaurant there. But what's interesting is you go to these little parts of Epcot that represent France and Germany and England, Canada, all over the world, Japan. It's cool because they hire nationals that I guess are living here for whatever, maybe going to school or they're expatriates or something. And so when you go to the Norway section, there's people that are actually from Norway, and you go to the French section, got people from France there. So I think that's pretty cool. I should ask them what they think. I'm sure they probably can't even. They can't if they don't like it. They're not supposed to say anything, right? They're supposed to speak well of whatever it is. But I want to hear from anybody that's been to Epcot that's from another country and sampled their own food. Why did this turn off again? Sorry, guys. We got this new battery pack, and it's already. I thought it would work, but it's cut out. Let me see if I can get back on here. Sorry, folks. This is really getting to be a problem. Why isn't it? Okay, let's turn back on. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's gone off again. Battery exhausted. What? I just charged this thing up the other day. What was it draining off of? Okay, guys, let me switch to another battery pack. Clearly, I let it drain somehow, and I'm going to need another battery pack. So if Nana could come help me, that would be awesome, because I don't have any battery packs in here. Maybe here. Hold on. I think I got some. I got one. Just have to make do. Sorry, guys. My bad. My fault. I should have checked. I think it should work now. Here we go. All right. Please work. I am such an amateur. Okay. Sorry. Maybe it is the ghost, Pete. We haven't really had any. It's weird. We've got in some of the rooms we have the Google Home camera, and sometimes it picks up. It says unknown person when nobody's in the room. That's a little creepy. We found out that there's there's some rooms that it is recognizing photos, and that's why. But there's other times where we can't figure out why it's trying to recognizes people that aren't there. The other funny part about those cameras is they sometimes mistake us for other people. There's and sometimes Nana gets mistaken for me, and it mistakes me for Nana. And I guess they say couples, when they've been together long enough, they start looking like each other. So perhaps that's what's happening. Thanks, Charlotte. Yes, it is creepy, Pam and Terry. Yeah, it's usually pictures. One of the funniest things that happened with the camera mistaking stuff is there was unknown person, and we didn't know, or Nana was like, "Who is that?" Because it actually showed a close up of this photo of this elderly woman. So we were really creeped out. Some of you may have heard this story, but we were really creeped. She was really creeped out, and she shows it to me, and she's like, "Look, who is that? Why? What is why are they? Why is this person on our camera?" And I look at it, and I said, "Oh, that's B. Arthur." So because I have a Golden Girls T-shirt, and it recognized the face of B. Arthur, and it thought that was an actual person. So we actually have it in our Google to recognize my shirt, and it says Golden Girls. Funny. So, Noel, the phone or the camera cuts out or cut out this time. I've been having issues, and I'm sure a lot of it is pilot errors. Like today, apparently I had this battery plugged into something, and it was probably just sucking off the power for a few days. So that's why it it died today. But there are other times I'm not quite sure what's going on because then I have like a full battery. So what we did do is, I got a bigger battery, and I'm hoping that if I don't do something silly like what I did, and let the battery drain, it will actually have more juice going through the camera, and won't cut out like it did before. That's the hope. So I have to try it again and make sure, and then we can see if that's going to do the trick or not. Jordan, I think it's some of the times I don't have it in the battery in, or the connection that's going from the battery to the camera in uh, snug enough. So that's definitely been one of the reasons. Just not today. Not today. It was because I let the battery run out, even though I wasn't using it. So I do take responsibility for not working. After my initial frustration, I become frustrated with myself because I am to blame. Yeah, Gemelli, I think she's over it now. We have to, I think what it's going to take is getting an umbrella or using an umbrella around her and not popping it up in her face, but just getting her used to it. And then maybe gently opening it, closing it around her, and praising her while we do that, so that she's realizes it's not going to get her. All right. Yeah, yeah. I guess Nana saw the whole thing. She saw when Gemelli jumped because she had her on the leash. Now I didn't do all the stuff here. I should have, but sometimes I just want to get into drawing and leave some of the details out. Okay. Trying to find one of my pens here. Here we go. The number 3 pen. Yeah, do you have any dogs? Any of you guys have any dogs that have phobias of certain things or aversion to certain things? I remember when I was working with dogs, there were dogs who were afraid of certain types of people, like people with facial hair, um, hats, because and you can only wonder, what happened when they were younger. Was somebody not nice to them that was like that, or something? Were they startled at a certain points when um, everything is kind of imprinting on them? Because there's I think the first 16 weeks of a dog's life where is crucial, where you need to expose them to as much as possible and make it positive, or they will have prejudices against certain things and aversions to certain things if they get introduced in the wrong way. So it's really important, if you didn't know that, to read about it, because each week in that 16 weeks, they've kind of figured out what to introduce dogs to and what not to expose them to. It's really interesting. One thing, if you've got a new puppy, that I recommend you do is to expose them to, or just get them desensitized to you handling their little paws and putting your finger in between their little toes, and um, just handling their feet. And if you can, like, don't necessarily clip their feet, but have the clipper and show it to them and kind of brush it against their nails, and just praise them while you do that, because you will be so happy later on when you get you have to clip your dog's nails and they don't act like you're trying to trying to kill them. Because I've dealt with a lot of dogs that when you try to clip their nails, they're in a fight for their life. They really think that you're trying to trying to end them. So if you can really at a young age introduce your pups to handling their toes, and just getting them used to having a nail clip around, kind of maybe make the little noises with, clipping sounds with it, you'll thank yourself. And then just be sure that when you're clipping their nails, do not cut the quick in the first few times, and I think you'll be good. Yeah, Bonnie, you know about that. Yeah. Heather, yeah, Heather says we were at a botanical garden with my daughter's service dog, and he backed into a branch, and it scared him so much he jumped. My daughter had to bounce treats off the branch, and people were looking at her like she was crazy. Yeah, you got to do that. You really got to offset those experiences that are negative, or that'll really have a lasting negative impression on poor doggy. Especially if it's a service dog, you need that dog to always just not be upset by anything, because that could be dangerous if they aren't doing their job and freak out if they see something that scared them before. So important. Noah says, I've had my dog 5 years. His family comes to clip his nails monthly. Yeah, Karen says I take my Jack Russell to the vet, and she hates nail clippers. She runs in her cage, her safe place. That's the only thing she's afraid of. Yeah, yeah. I've really seen dogs the most scared when it was with nail clippers because something bad happened. Somebody cut their quick when they were a puppy, maybe, and from then on they think it's something's trying to get them. Yeah, Chelsea. Yes, she should have technically should have her vest on because she was out and about, but I got too excited about drawing, and now it's too late. What are you gonna do? It's okay. I won't tell anybody if you don't tell anybody. Noel says it's our pup anniversary today. Aw. Yes, Diane, it's just the essence of the moment. Sometimes you want to just draw the main thing and you don't want to have anything distract. I'll go with that, but I did forget. But I think that's a good reason. Sometimes you just want to get that whatever it was, the action that happened, and you're just capturing the spirit. I mean, that's the main thing about cartooning, right? You really want to capture the spirit and the emotion of what happened. It's not a technical drawing. It's just a representation. Yeah, Jenny. Yeah, she says my doxy fights like you're trying to murder him when you want to clip his nails. So I take him to the groomers to get it done. Now it's so true. It's true. Some dogs they really do feel like they're in the fight of their life when you try to get their nails. Poor guys. So I wish there was a way that we could communicate with animals. I mean, you can to an extent, but I mean, I wish you could like actually speak, and they would know this is not going to hurt. I know it was bad one time for you, but this time I promise you, not going to be so bad. Because they can really sometimes hurt themselves because they're jumping around so much, so it makes things worse. Thanks, Evelyn. Oh,
Someone's at the front door.
somebody's at the front door. If you didn't know, I think that might be dinner. We since we were gone this week, we didn't like before we left. We would try to use up all the food that was perishable, and we did. Then we just came back, and we don't have any food right this second, and we could have gone, but it was just too late in the day. So we're doing takeout tonight or bring home, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting. Some people really like this sound, and other people are really irritated by it. I quite like it. Thanks, Jenny. Gail likes the sound of the markers. Joyce wants to know if I've ever done a charcoal drawing. I have. I did in college, art school. I did a number of charcoal drawings. I like it. It's fun, but it's really messy. So that's why I didn't continue to draw with charcoal. It gets all over me. I drag my hand through it and just gets in it. And then the charcoal always, even after you use it, it's not like an ink. It doesn't dry. It's just always charcoal. So you can still smear it afterwards. So that's just my own issue with it. I think it's a cool medium. I mean, I like the way it looks. It's just a little too messy for me to work with. Yeah, the blending. That is the strength of charcoal. You can really get some nice shading and blending because it's something that you can keep working at, keep working it.
Do you want me to start feeding her?
Yeah, that would be good.
It'll be warm for a while.
Yeah, and I don't think this one's gonna take as long. It's just a dog and an umbrella, right?
Right. It's just a matter of filling in all her fur.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see you shortly.
All right, thank you. Sorry, I keep looking up and seeing people responding to each other. I just since my head's down. Sorry, I didn't. If I don't respond to you, it's because I'm looking down. I can't look up. I can talk to you, but I can't look up while I'm actually drawing. I mean, I can, but it's not gonna look nice. Yes, Noel also pastels. That's the same reason I don't work with pastels. Messy. But again, you can do some awesome blending and shading with them. I will not take that from them. They are definitely good for that. Hey, Bonnie. Thanks, Julie. Thank you. The other thing that I didn't do on this drawing is I didn't put her shoes on. She had her booties on. This one, we didn't use the pink ones because we realized those too distracting because people making comments and talking to trying to everybody's laughing at her, and so we used the black booties. Still got people commenting. We also did get people. What's cool is we get when people say, hey, just want to thank you for considering the dog and putting booties on her because it gets really hot there and the ground is extremely hot. And dogs' little paws will burn if it can burn you. It'll probably burn your dog's paws too. Doesn't matter, how thick the calluses are. Burns and burn. Sharon says her dog Loki occasionally comes out of the crafting room with green or red glitter on him. That's the other thing. I like to compare glitter to radiation. It once it gets into the environment, it's there and it never goes away. I feel like glitter has a half life. You do a project with glitter, and you will see that glitter for the rest of your days. Especially because I remember one time back when we were staying down in West Palm Beach, the last house we were at down there. We stayed there for 5 months, 6 months. During the holidays, we were doing some sort of crafting project, and Anna, we got the glitter out, and the first thing she does, she blows on the glitter because I guess she wanted to move it around. I think glitter got everywhere, and we saw traces of it for the rest of the time we were there, and I'm sure it's still there. I'm sure the new owners are probably like, "What is this? Why is this glitter all over the house?" It's because it never goes away. Tina, yeah. Tina says, as a teacher of many years, I agree about the glitter. It really is. I really think that scientists should just figure out like what the half life of glitter is. Never goes, never quite goes away completely. Jill says, some party centers won't let you use it for that reason. We used fake snow for a party, was in our couch months later. Yes, I no doubt. I guess it sounds like they're trying to get Gemelli to do something, and it sounds like she did it, whatever it was. That dog, Gemelli, she is very smart. You just try it. You talk to her, ask her to do something, and she might not get it at first, but she very quickly figures out what you're trying to ask her to do, and she will at least knows what you want and will try to do it. Whether she's successful or not, that's not necessarily always, just might not work just because just physically she can't do something, but she'll know what you're trying to get her to do, and will focus on whatever it is that you're trying to ask of her. Yes, Martha. Umbrellas can be very dangerous in crowd situations. Absolutely. Sure. So we call Loki shedding black lab glitter. Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, I would say the one drawback about Gemelli is how much she sheds. It is definitely a losing battle. Um, no matter what we do, there's always black fur. We vacuum, we sweep. We have a shark that goes around, vacuums every day, and then we go into the corners manually with vacuum. And yet, there is always black fur, even right after you sweep or vacuum. I mean, the best you can do is just keep on cleaning so that it just doesn't build up to a ridiculous amount.
Black fur fun, won't you come vacuum it away?
Oh boy. Yeah, so Dawn says my dad says when I bring my dogs up to his place, they leave their hair all over. You have a golden Goldie and a black and white collie, and you're used to it. Yeah, I mean you have to. If you don't get used to it, you're just gonna lose your mind, right? You got to at least be kind of resigned to the fact that you're always gonna have fur. Gemelli, as you know, is part lab, black lab, or all different types of labs, and but mostly golden retriever. So she looks exactly like a golden retriever, like literally. Like my folks have had many golden retrievers over the years. She looks just like a golden retriever, but she's black, and not even like a flat coat retriever. Because flat coats, I think they almost look more like Irish setters in a way. They're like a lot lankier. But Gemelli really like has that face and the body of the golden retriever, but just her hair, her fur is black, so she looks like a black golden retriever. It's really cool. I've never seen a dog like that. She has. We met some of her litter mates when we were getting her, and we had to train up at Four Paws. One of her siblings, his name was Pizza, and he looked very similar to her in terms of the coat, same color fur, but his ears, he had very long, beautiful hair that came down off of his ears. It looked like he had like long hair, like he was some kind of a hippie. It's really funny. Interesting thing is that Pizza actually, I think, lives in Florida now. I don't know exactly where. I think more south. Maybe, I don't know where, West Palm Beach or Miami, maybe. But pretty cool that her brother's in the same state. Sort of like my sister is south here. Oh, Sharon, that is so sad. Sharon's the saddest thing was finding my jersey's fur behind the couch. The next time I vacuumed after she passed, it fell apart. Yeah, this is sad. Yeah, Nana was cleaning one of Anna's old pieces of furniture, and she found some of Mimi's fur, and it was very sad. I felt really bad for her. She's still, I don't think she'll ever fully get over losing Mimi. I mean, just like, I guess, losing any family member, you never quite get over it. You get, I guess, more used to it, but yeah, it's never something that goes away. I think the closest thing that I know of is my gramps. Like, I just said to my dad, I said, I really miss that guy. I miss him. Wish he was still here. I don't know. Well, I'll spare you the sad talk. What are you guys doing this weekend? What are your plans? Doing anything fun? Going anywhere? Seeing anybody that you haven't seen in a while? Just doing chores? What do you got going? I don't know what we're doing this weekend. We're pretty busy this week, so I don't expect a lot. Maybe just recuperating, watching some movies at home, maybe. Miranda, you're crafting. Dawn is doing archery. That's pretty rad. Fun. Where you how do you do that? Do you go to is there an actual archery range, or you just go into you do it Robin Hood Robin Hood way? Do you just go in the forest and fire off your arrows? Explain. Kathy, sounds exciting. Your kids are planning something for your birthday. Cool. Well, I hope it is. I'm sure it'll be fun. I hope it is something that you really want to do. And my wish for anybody who's having a birthday is always I hope you get to eat your favorite food. I don't think that's asking for much. That you just whoever your loved ones are, find out what their favorite food is. Make sure that they have it. Pam, you're cleaning out the closets. Oh, you're doing spring cleaning. It's a lot of work ahead of you, but it's probably a great feeling once you get done. I like to use markers sometimes that are running out because you kind of can just get a hint of the color before I go in. And then I can also test out, do I want to go lighter or darker? I'm told you can reactivate these markers, alcohol markers, if with alcohol, like rubbing alcohol or something. I haven't tried it, but I'll have to give it a shot and see if I can bring back some of these markers, get a little more mileage out of them. Dawn, you have a pink bow and you shoot 20 yards from your wheelchair. I love it's indoors, not weather dependent. Oh, that's cool. So I guess there's an indoor range that you go to, or you're just firing around in your house. I don't think you'd have 20 yards to fire off in your house, but Charlene, you have a move-in pizza with your daughter. That sounds awesome. I love pizza. We actually might do a live this weekend. Everybody likes to talks about the chicken crust pizza that Nana makes. So we might do a live and do that again. Um, we'll figure it out. But everybody seems to like it, and people who try it, they enjoy it. It's a good alternative if you need to like cut down on your carbs or you can't have carbs. Chicken crust pizza is the way to go. And if you're curious, maybe we'll do that live, and you can follow along on the main page. Yes, Noel, chicken crust pizza. You can actually make pizza crust with chicken, and it's pretty darn good, if you ask me. And I'm a real carb person, and I like sugar, and that's why I'm pre-diabetic. But I still think that the chicken crust pizza is pretty good, and I recommend it. Everybody should try it at least once. Or if they can't have regular crust, maybe you have gluten allergy, or you just can't have carbs, try the chicken crust pizza. We'll let you guys know if we're doing that. And maybe even, I don't know. Sometimes what Nana does is if you guys want to cook it along with us, just she'll put like a post and have like the list of ingredients so you guys can pick that up at the market and then make it along with us. It's always fun. Don says it's at a club that you go to. Cool. Do you have? Is there like a whole bunch of people in the class, or is it like one-on-one training for your archery? Mary wants to know, what do I do with all my sketches? They stay in these tablets for now. I don't really do much with them at this point, but maybe we'll figure something out. All right, I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm really glad I was able to get back on for at least the last day of the week. I will be back on Monday. I will also be posting stuff on some of the other platforms. I do short form videos on the other platforms, and I've kind of stepped away from that, and now I'm getting back into it. I've got a week's worth all loaded up, and I'm gonna probably this weekend I want to make some more so I can kind of stay ahead of the game. And yeah, so be on the lookout for that. If everything goes as normal, I will be on Monday, and then Wednesday, and then Friday. So we're not going anywhere. So technically, in theory, I should be able to get beyond 3 times next week. Let me just sign off on this here. It is, let's see, what's the date? It is May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. 5 5:23. Have a burrito. Enjoy. All right, guys. Take it easy. I will see you soon when I get a chance. I didn't get to see all your comments. I'll go back and answer any questions that I didn't answer. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you much. And I will see you next week. Talk to you later. Have a great weekend. Bye.